Lance Barber's George Sr. is making an unexpected return in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, despite his character's death in young Sheldon. The new trailer for episode 12 has sparked excitement and speculation among fans. How is George Sr. back? Is it a flashback, a dream, or something else entirely? This surprising twist brings a wave of nostalgia for longtime young Sheldon viewers. George Sr. was a central figure in Sheldon's childhood, and his passing was a deeply emotional moment in the prequel series. Now, with his sudden reappearance, fans are eager to see how Georgie and Mandy's first marriage will handle this unexpected return. George Sr.'s death in young Sheldon. In young Sheldon, George Sr.'s fate was well known to fans of The Big Bang Theory. The latter show often referenced Sheldon's father's death, which happened when Sheldon was 14. Young Sheldon finally depicted this tragic event, leaving a significant impact on the Cooper family and marking a pivotal moment in Sheldon's life. However, while his death was expected, it was still heartbreaking. The character, played by Lance Barber, had evolved from a sometimes flawed but ultimately loving father into one of the most beloved figures in the series. His passing left a void that changed the entire dynamic of the Cooper family. Why is George Sr. back? The trailer for episode 12 of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage gives us the shocking glimpse of George Sr. Fans were left wondering, how is this possible? There are a few possibilities. A flashback scene. The most logical explanation is that George Sr. appears in a flashback. Since the show revolves around Georgie and Mandy's life, it's possible that Georgie reminisces about his father during an important moment. Maybe he recalls a lesson George Sr. taught him about marriage, responsibility, or fatherhood. Flashbacks would be a great way to keep George Sr. in the story without breaking continuity. A dream or vision. Another possibility is that George Sr. appears in a dream or as a vision. This has been done in other TV shows where deceased characters return to give guidance to their loved ones. Georgie might be struggling with something in his marriage and imagines his father giving him advice. This would allow for an emotional moment between the two, even though George Sr. is no longer alive. An alternate timeline or what-if scenario. While unlikely, some fans have speculated that the show could explore an alternate timeline. What if George Sr. had lived longer? How would his presence have shaped Georgie's life? While this approach would be more experimental, it could be a compelling way to explore what could have been. A previously unseen scene from the past. The show could also introduce a scene from the past that wasn't shown in young Sheldon. Maybe it's a previously unseen moment between George Sr. and Georgie that ties into the current storyline. What George Sr.'s return means for Georgie. No matter how George Sr. appears, his return will likely be an emotional moment for Georgie. Losing his father at a young age was a defining moment in his life. Now that Georgie is married and has a child, he may be reflecting on the lessons his father taught him. If George Sr. appears in a flashback, it could show a heartwarming moment between father and son, reinforcing Georgie's journey into adulthood. If it's a dream or vision, it might provide Georgie with the encouragement he needs to handle a difficult situation. Fan reactions to the trailer. Since the trailer dropped, fans have been buzzing with excitement and curiosity. Social media is filled with theories about how George Sr. will return. Some are thrilled to see Lance Barber back in the role, while others are emotional about revisiting such an important character. Many fans have expressed how much they missed George Sr. in young Sheldon. His presence was a grounding force in the Cooper family, and his return, no matter how brief, brings back the warmth and charm he added to the show. How Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is honoring young Sheldon. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is carrying the legacy of young Sheldon forward, and George Sr.'s return is a perfect example of how the show is staying connected to its roots. By bringing back important characters, even in small ways, the series continues to build on the emotional depth of the original. George Sr.'s appearance might be brief, but it serves as a reminder of the impact he had on his family. Whether he returns in a memory, dream, or unseen past moment, His presence will undoubtedly add depth to the story. Conclusion. Lance Barber's return as George Sr. in episode 12 of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is a major moment for fans of young Sheldon. While his character's death was a pivotal event, his reappearance offers a touching opportunity to revisit the father-son bond between George and Georgie.